Stay on your toes. The wasteland is merciless.
Is this done? Ad Victorium. You're here. Good. To review the current situation, one of our patrols located a cache of dangerous weapons in a raider storeroom. Stolen Brotherhood weapons, no less. Your assignment is to secure the storeroom for the Brotherhood, and the weapons along with it. I'll put together a squad and meet you there. But given the situation, it's imperative you arrive there as soon as possible. Any questions, Initiate? I should put negligence on your record for asking that question. Lucky for you, I don't have the time. If you can recall your last assignment, it had to do with putting down a rabid den of blood eagles in possession of military-grade rocket launchers. The same kind of rocket launchers were discovered in the possession of some raiders from Crater. Needless to say, that's a problem, and we are going to fix it. Paladin Ramani forbids engagement without warning, so we will attempt to speak to them when we arrive. That being said, the raiders have already made it clear they're determined to be our enemies, stealing supplies, ambushing patrols, using Brotherhood weapons to terrorize the region. If they are unwilling to cooperate, we will put our foot down. So be prepared for combat.
Bias goodwill with the locals.
One last thing. We need to confirm the weapon's source. I find it unlikely the raiders will be willing to talk until after we send them a very clear message. If any of them are still alive after that, we can question them. But priority one is securing the weapons they already have. That will be all. Dismissed.
Well, looks like we have a visitor. Did the Brotherhood send you? Didn't know they were working with run-of-the-mill average wastelanders. Thought they wanted you strapped into one of those tin cans round the clock. It's wrong of me to judge by appearances, though. Why don't you introduce yourself? That's so. You got a deed to go with that claim? 'Cause, we're not gonna sign it.
This vault and all material goods within are hereby under possession of the Brotherhood of Steel. This requisition will aid us in the preservation of technology and the protection of mankind. Your compliance will ensure your safety.
You know, I'm interested in hearing more about this protection of mankind business. I suppose killing a few no-good raiders is an easy price to pay for the benefit this measly little vault will provide for us as a species. Is that it?
I repeat, your compliance will ensure your safety. Not that I'd expect a simple-minded brute to understand.
Resorting to name-calling already. I have to say, I'm disappointed. Thought I'd be able to speak to someone civilized from a big-shot organization like yours. What about you, Forward Scout? Think we can work this one out? Or are your underpants in as tight of a bunch as Mr. Compliance over there? You do have a point. This place doesn't offer us any strategic leverage over the Brotherhood. If anything, you're gonna waste more resources protecting a place so far away from your home base. So then, it must be the weapons that are important to you. What's so special about these rocket launchers that a top-ranking member would come to collect them himself?
I don't know how you became aware of our internal hierarchy, but it's irrelevant to the situation. You will leave the weapons in the vault and disperse. Now.
And how about you? Do you seriously take orders from this constipated suit of metal? Terrorize? We're out here trying to survive, just like anyone else. Meanwhile, the Brotherhood is marching around in power armor, threatening people who don't meet its demands. You tell me who's the real terror. We're heading back to Crater. This stash isn't worth it.
Not so fast. Tell us where you got those weapons from.
Ooh, sorry. I don't discuss Raider affairs on Brotherhood territory. If you really want to know, you can come talk to me in Crater. Don't worry. If it's only one of you, we don't usually kill on sight. Now let us through.
We completed the first part of our mission. I can't say I agree with your methods. Talking things through gives the impression of a compromise. The Brotherhood doesn't compromise. We determine what needs to be done, and we do it. You did do the second part right, so I'll leave it at that. Moving forward, we still need to track down the weapon source. That man appeared to know something. I don't care how you get it out of him, but make sure you get it. We'll set up some protectrons to guard it, and transfer the weapons back to Fort Atlas. After that, it can be used as an intermediate storehouse for anything our patrols find in the northern part of Appalachia. I thought the raiders were bad enough before that vile cretin opened his mouth. And we just let him... This is off-topic, Initiate. Don't ask me a question like that again. This is your top priority. The longer we let these weapons spread, the more difficult it will be to track down all of them.
Can't believe they had the nerve to just barge in like that. That knight acts like some kind of righteous savior.
I told you. And they're only gonna get more confident.
I won't let them. Do we have their patrol routes yet? A couple ambushes ought to take them down a notch.
We'll have to discuss this later. We've got a visitor.
So, you really came? Huh. To be honest, I didn't expect the Brotherhood to show its face around here with anything less than a fully armored battalion. Life is just full of surprises, isn't it? So, what can I do for you, oh honorable emissary of steel? Brilliant! Well, let me just pop open a bottle of Nuka-Shine, and we'll kick back, exchange stories, tearfully share all the details of our tragic pasts. But I suppose yours goes something like this. You were a wayward soul, lost, looking for purpose. Then the Brotherhood of Steel came along and put a badge of honor on your chest. Made you feel like you really mattered. So now, you'll do anything for them. Like risking your life to come to Crater and ask about those weapons you confiscated. Well, here's my backstory. The Brotherhood of Steel pointed their guns at my face and stole my property. So that property is their problem now. I'm not telling you a damn thing.
Don't you think you're being stubborn, Pierce? We have a good little Brotherhood peon here at our disposal. We can make use of that.
We've been over this. There's no compromising with people like the Brotherhood. Give them an inch and they'll take a mile.
We don't know that yet for sure. Besides, everyone has their own motivations. Our visitor might have one worth talking about.
I won't rely on a betrayal to take them down. You should know that. I have nothing left to discuss. I've given you my answer, Initiate. Now for your sake, I'd suggest you don't stick around.
Hey, you. Don't leave yet. I've got something to say. Don't mind Pierce, he's stubborn. Holds too tightly to his morals. I'll tell you about the weapons, but you're gonna need to give me something in return. Interested? I want intel on the Brotherhood. Records, roster, correspondence. You've got people specialized in keeping track of that sort of thing, right? Transfer their data onto this holotape and bring it back to me. Then I'll tell you what you want to know. We're not on friendly terms with the Brotherhood. What do you think we're gonna do with it? Don't worry. If the Brotherhood is as powerful as they are confident, then it shouldn't make any difference, right? How do you know about our war room? About that vault where you ambushed Pierce? We have eyes the same way you do. Remember it. This isn't a betrayal. It's just good business sense. Toodles.
Guard places, lift things, kill people. It's what I do.
Survival doesn't get a day off.
They threaten my friends, so I'll take them down.
Defiance, but I'm not sure I could stand the sight.
Fighting out there.
What can I do for you? Or did you come to lend a hand? Raiders, huh? If they're anything like the raiders we've encountered on the expedition route, then my guess is the situation isn't pretty. All right. How can I help? I think I understand. The funny thing about data is you don't know what's real or not. Not unless you gathered it yourself. To be honest, I was working on encrypting my terminal for this kind of situation. So, if anyone accessed it who wasn't supposed to, they would just get false info and none would be the wiser. I didn't finish, but you can still use the fake data I created. Should be clearly labeled in the files. Just, don't select the wrong one. This is the raiders we're talking about. It'd be bad news if they got an advantage on us. Worse, if the Knight found out it was because of me. It's not likely to happen anytime soon, but an enemy could use our names, skills, and history to trick other members or develop a targeted strategy. I may also begin storing schematics and stockpile records on there. Right now, the Knight is doing it all by hand. Well, for now, I just hope we don't make too many enemies. I don't expect much from the raiders, but maybe they're smarter than they give off. Not a problem.
Stay strong, friend. No telling what the next challenge will hold.
I see you returned from Crater.
Rebuild here.
Standing by for your report.
Scorched clay.
That's not what I was hoping to hear. All right. Tell me about the sources. I see. And are those raiders still at Crater?
Oh.
It can't be helped then. We need to focus on Appalachia for the moment.
Used to be, Layla. Can't spend all day hunched over the war table.
Without more information, it's impossible to say. We fought plenty of raider groups across the entire expedition route. And the other one. Foundation 2. This is bad. Worse than I thought. At this rate, all of Appalachia will be toting these rocket launchers.
You're gonna have to bring the
All
situation
because of...
under control.
Forgive me, Initiate. I lost my composure.
Unnecessary.
We need to follow up with Foundation as soon as possible. Peaceful or not, civilians should not have access to that kind of technology. It's too easy for things to go wrong. Take the Great War as an example. That catastrophe is the inspiration for our mission today. You don't have clearance for that information, Initiate. Proceed with your report. So that's everything. That was a thorough report. The Brotherhood appreciates your diligence looking into this matter. Our next step is to deal with Foundation. Paladin Romani already had plans to establish contact, so she'll want to hear about this. No need to expound everything. I'll follow up later with a more detailed report.
Valdez take another look at my armor. 2,000 miles of hiking.
That's classified information, Initiate. Not every operation runs perfectly. All you need to know is that we're fixing it. A knight's helmet? It must be. 2 other knights embarked with us from the west coast. Knight Thornberry returned partway through the journey. Knight Connors gave his life in honorable service to the Brotherhood. Show the proper respect when asking about him. To think they held onto his helmet like a trophy. It's unforgivable. Ad Victorium.
Ah, Initiate. I haven't had the chance to discuss your last assignment with Knight Shin yet. Was there something you needed to report to me directly? Really? Foundation? That's troubling. How well do you know the people of Foundation? Excellent. That's great news. I spoke with a few members of their community, looking for ways to work together. We're in need of food and water. They have plenty to spare. However, knowing they may have those weapons, accelerates matters. It's critical that we follow up with them right away. Your mission is as follows. Meet with Gloria Chance, the supervisor of Foundation Supply Room. Determine whether or not they've seen or acquired such weapons for themselves. And lastly, establish a trade deal with Foundation. Something that will provide us longevity in Appalachia. You're gonna have to make some tough decisions, but I trust that you know Foundation well enough to make the right calls. And allow me to stress, both returning with the weapons and securing a trade deal are equally important objectives, Initiate. I wholeheartedly agree. Remember, you represent the Brotherhood to these people. Do us proud.
That is what keeps this order together.
Learning, protection. I have everything I need here.
You're back. I assume Paladin Romani has tasked you with handling the situation. Why are you dragging your feet? Move out. by any means necessary. Returning with those weapons is absolutely critical. This is too important a task for a light touch. Do whatever it takes. These weapons are far too dangerous to be in anyone's possession but our own. I see. This isn't surprising, but it's not the choice that I would have made. I will have a word with Paladin Romani while you're out. But remember, respect the chain of command. If Paladin Romani has tasked you with this, carry it out, regardless of what you or I may think of it. Do not test my patience, Initiate. This is our way. Chain of command supersedes how we feel. However, I will put this as plainly as I can. I feel we'd grow stronger from continuing to rely on ourselves, rather than focus on trade deals. Recovering the weapons, however, is more than a task. It is your duty as a member of the Brotherhood of Steel. That's all I have to say on the matter. You have your assignment. Carry it out.